session. Good morning to all the chairpersons. At the outset, let me thank the organizers, Dr. Pranjal, Dr. Rashmi, and Somvanshi madam. And I hope that my videos work. Now, I'm here to speak on office hysteroscopy, which has been my passion and which I believe is a sneak peek into the uterus. I'm from Chandrapur. This is how the amazing figures come out when you have a good image on your screen. Office hysteroscopy is about doing an hysteroscopy which is outside the formal operating theatre, but of course in a properly equipped and staffed place. There is no compromise with patients' safety. It has to be in an office procedure, so we don't need to wear any scrub suits, gowns, masks, caps, but of course the instruments, the gloves need to be sterilized, and accessory instruments, telescopes and sheets need to be sterilized. Do we need analgesia since we call it an office procedure? In 2004, Professor Bertocci published a data of 4,880 cases which he did without anesthesia or analgesia. But yes, today we do use analgesia, and the boon of paracervical block has been enhanced when vasopressin has been added. It reduces the fluid absorbed which we push into the uterus at high levels, and it leads to less force of dilatation. There have been studies of oral painkillers and rectal NSAIDs being used half an hour before the process to enhance dilatation and for pain relief. Intrauterine lignocaine has also been used, and where we expect some impedance at the internal os, we can use oral misoprostol also. So what is in our armamentarium? It is a telescope, a sheath, a distension medium fluid delivery system, a light source and cable, a video camera, a monitor. And with inventions and innovations, we have flexible telescopes nowadays of very small sizes, which is about 3.5 millimeters, which minimize the risk of trauma, of course with a price tag. We are usually using the rigid telescopes, which are about 4 mm, with a 30-degree telescope and a 2.9, which is much in vogue nowadays. So scopes are getting smaller, improvements on light sources are there, and optics are more advanced. So we have these very flexible scopes, which of course, like I told you, a high price tag. The instruments need to be something to push in fluid, so we have an irrigation channel, we have an operating channel or an instrumental channel where we want to take out these small polyps and biopsies. We require to see inside the uterus, so we have a light source, which is a 300-watt halogen or a xenon bulb with a flexible fiber optic cable. And to distend the uterus, we use either isotonic solutions like normal saline or Ringer's lactate, which give a clear view and help in bipolar procedures. In the past, we were using high viscosity fluids like Dextran 70, which was electrolyte free and which had the advantage of not being mixing with blood, so we had a better view. Low viscosity fluids which were used till the recent past like glycine, which were non-conductive, which had these disadvantages of hyponatremia and hemolysis. And just to mention that there were cases being done in CO2 also with a constant continuous flow, which has been discontinued now. So we have a clear fluid which distends the cavity, allows visualization and clears the blood. Now we want to see what are the indications that we need to do an office hysteroscopy. It is done when we need to take a biopsy. Synochial lysis is best done under visualization, so we have a good residual endometrium compared to other blind procedures. A focal coagulation with maybe something like a Versa point. A perimenopausal screening in cases of suspected endometrial carcinoma. It is one of the best modalities to retrieve a missing IUD. Small endometrial polyps can easily be removed. Now the very much in pipeline GCSF and PRP infusions for very thin endometriums are also being done hysteroscopically. And many a times we have a very normal HCG, but we have intrauterine filling defects which we would like to cross-check with this. So in cases of unexplained infertility, when we have a small endometrial polyp or a small cervical polyp or an addition at an ostia which can be very easily corrected with a scissors, or a cornual polyp, and these lead to impaired receptivity and implantation. So this is inside the uterus, inside that marvelous cavity called uterine wall, in which we see the ostia, we see the fundus, we see the walls, we see the anterior posterior walls, and like the masters say, when we stand at the internal os, we should be able to see both the ostia. So that this patient definitely requires metroplasty. We have to also know and respect the contraindications. That is when there is an active PID or an active profuse uterine bleeding, A uterine perforation, because it is not advisable to do anything of that sort in this. A pregnancy, a CA cervix, and a cardiovascular disease. The technique should be, after adequate analgesia, vaginal cleaning. There is no speculum or tenaculum which is used. We use a vaginoscopic approach where we close the labia manually to distend the vagina. The entry is direct into the cervix and then into the uterine cavity. The fluid distension media, there is a continuous flow through the endomat at an insufflation pressure of 75 to 100 millimeters, which flows at around 200 to 350 ml per minute. A 2.9 mm 30 degree scope is used with an operating channel of 1.6 mm. And like the masters say, keep the operating channel inside, keep the operating instrument in situ. So the journey goes, the ectocervix, the endocervix, the endocervical canal, the internal os, uterine cavity, fundus, lateral walls, anterior and posterior wall, the ostia, endometrium, and out I am. So here this is my vagina, where we have distended the vagina with adequate of fluid. We have a good vaginal view, and then we go into the uterus. If Osama was here, he would have said, open your mouth, and in we go. We enjoy the journey through the endocervical canal, where we see the crypts, we see the glands, and then there is a small polyp there, which wants to say good morning to everybody. So as we release and increase the pressure, the polyp may come up. Yes, it does. And then we bypass it, and we try to go into the uterine cavity. And lo and behold, what do we have? We have a uterine cavity which has been divided in two, that is a septum. So that is the left and the right corner, or right horn of the septate uterus. And since I'm dealing, I wanted the light, so Acha, he wants to take picture. And we are out again. So this is another septum. And here, if Osama was there, he would have said, wink at me, and that would have winked at you. So that is the left opening of the left horn and the right horn. Now we have difficulties, as with every procedure. It could either be a very acutely or a retroverted uterus, or in a postmenopausal patient where the internal os is very difficult to dilate. The patient's tolerance does matter. Where she feels pain when we reach the myometrium, when we start cutting up. Or we have a hemorrhage when the vision is obscured. And of course, there is a discomfort level if there is a fluid overload. The input-output deficit should not be more than 100. It is not always a smooth route. There are sometimes, could I have this light off, please? This is the internal os, where sometimes we need to cut it up with the scissors. Of course, when we are cutting in the scissors, it's almost a procedure with a very narrow cavity. They are bound to be complications. We have a uterine perforation or a hemorrhage, an infection if we do not ensure adequate drainage, hypervolemia, and in past when we used to use glycine, we had this hyponatremic encephalopathy, arrhythmias, asystole, and an intravascular absorption syndrome. The grand disease tuberculosis looks like enlarged radiating vessels, especially near either of the cornu. Superficial ulcers can be seen as pale areas on hysteroscopy. Osteal and periosteal fibrosis is there, and irregular cavity is there. Now I want you to see this video. It is a lovely video in which we had this copper-T which was completely wedged transversely into the cavity. Yeah. And this is a hysteroscopic polyp which was seen at the internal os. Two very pretty strawberry looking polyps. I just have a few videos, and I don't think a presentation is complete without a video. Patient was not conceiving, nothing seen on USG, and here this is this adhesive band, which could very easily
we're lagging behind by half an hour. Please conclude.
We had another very pretty polyp sitting inside, which was leading to heavy bleeding for the patient. And it is so marvelous to see that beautiful thing sitting down there at the ostium. This was another picture which I always cherish. My husband being ENT, he sees the nose and the two eyes, and I see this inside the uterus. A tubal cannulation in which the cannula is put very aptly into the ostia, which can dilate the ostial openings. And of course another small plug there which is at the next ostium, which needs to be dilated and needs to be taken care of. So that's it. And this is my last video which I wanted you people to see, and it is actually for those new hysteroscopic surgeons who see something, a big mass, a big fibroid on the uterus, and then when we put the scope inside, suddenly there's nothing except for a small bump. And I want you to observe this, and on this wall, from the right uterine wall, as I reduce the pressure of the fluid, which was actually distending the cavity, and hence you can see the blood flowing into the cavity, I see something looming up into the cavity, which was actually so marvelous and so amazing when we were looking at it for the first time. I asked my sister, कहाँ गया वो fibroid दिख रहा था बहुत बड़ा sonography पे, अभी कहाँ है? And here it is. It's making a mark for itself. So it comes into the cavity slowly. Actually, it's a grade 2 fibroid which is coming into the endometrium. I think you can appreciate it coming into the endometrium. Slowly into the cavity.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
We have a next session.
So this was the submucous fibroid which it was. Thank you so much, and I feel as elated as these king penguins. Thank you so much.
I would like